Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Guerrilla Warfare TAW 2020 series. Today we are here with Lost in the World, of course, episode 7. Now it has been 2 months, it's been a very busy time, it's been 2 months since I last recorded this series, so I think we might all need a little rejig of our memories. So last time out we held DDT4, our first show of 2021, where of course if you're familiar with PWG, you might know about DDT4. If you're not familiar, then basically what it is a one-night tournament. The last team standing, they're your tag team champions and they win the DDT4 tournament. There are 8 teams. The World Tag Team Champions are in the tournament, and every match where the Tag Team Champions are present, they defend the titles. So we start off with America's Finest, of course, Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham. They defeated Black Death of Kevin Blackwood and Daniel Garcia in the opener. The Machine Guns defeated Black Taurus and Laredo Kid. The Rascals, now of NXT, defeated Alex Zane, now of NXT, and Blake Christian. That's a recurring theme with this episode. Mexa Blood defeated the Workhorsemen, who are of course JD Drake and Anthony Henry, now of NXT. Freddie High defeated Lee Moriarty in what will be a cracking match. The Machine Guns then eliminated Grace and Gresham. The Rascals beat Mexa Blood. ACH won a 4-way bout against Brody King, Chris Dickinson and Chris Hero. And then in the final, in the main event, the Machine Guns beat the Rascals. Tonight we are back at the Globe Theatre, but it's for Lost in the World. I can announce that next episode will be All-Star Weekend. It returns, and I have some good-ass plans for you for All-Star Weekend in the next episode. We do have 2 PWG debuts tonight. Let's find out who they are as we kick off the show in front of 538 people at the Globe Theatre, where in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, 2 of the best technicians on the American wrestling circuit, Alex Shelley and Lee Moriarty, collided. They combined in the ring, and in 16 minutes and 27 seconds, Alex Shelley, one half of the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Tag Team Champions, defeated Lee Moriarty. He tapped him out to the Border City stretch in a fun match. It could have been a little longer for an important match, despite the fact that Lee Moriarty is viewed as unimportant by our fans. As the road agent, Excalibur probably could have done a better job of putting this match together, so we will have to make a note of that so that I can remove him as a road agent. Shelley with a 62 to Lee Moriarty's 48. I've been watching a little bit of South Park lately, and every time I say Alex Shelley's name, every time I say Shelley, I just think of Stan Marsh's sister or Randy Marsh's daughter. It's all I can think about, him just shouting Shelley. So there's a fun little behind the scenes fact for you all there. Next up, we have some more one-on-one action as Danny Limelight, a man who's recently arrived in All Elite Wrestling, one of the best wrestlers in the SoCal scene over the course of the last 2 years. He finally arrives in PWG. He battles the former World Heavyweight Champion Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb, and Jeff Cobb, now of New Japan's United Empire faction, defeats Danny in 13 minutes and 8 seconds with a tour of the islands. Neither man really doing well. A pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Danny Limelight. I might have to have a little look at his attributes and his skills just to see if they are quite realistic, if they do make a good showcase of the progress that he has made over the course of this decade so far. Next up we have a 38 where ACH defeats Andy Brown. Uptown Andy Brown returns, and another top SoCal talent. He battles one of the best of PWG in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. ACH gets the win with the Dragonfly, and once again a pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Andy Brown. Do I need to change the product because he's been in PWG? They was quite receptive to Andy Brown. Andy Brown's a good wrestler, and you know, the PWG crowd, they're usually quite happy to see California's finest turn up in the biggest stage of Californian wrestling. Up next we have a 52 where there's a big 6-man tag as the Mexican faction, well not faction but the Mexican trifecta of Black Taurus, Flamita and Laredo Kid defeat Alex Zane, Benjamin Carter and Blake Christian in 13 minutes and 30 seconds, with Laredo Kid pinning Ben Carter with a 450 splash. Initially, the Americans and the man from England were meant to win this match. 2 months ago when I put this together, I was actually going to have them win. It's so interesting, that, to me, because when I reopened this save last week, I did look at it and I thought, really? And then I had to remember, oh yeah, Alex Zane and Ben Carter had a lot of hype before they got signed. And it has changed the way they're viewed, you know? The hype has dropped off a little bit. Hopefully they can build it back up. Ben Carter probably won't, since he's losing to square-headed pricks on NXT UK. But maybe Alex Zane will build it back up over in sunny old Florida. But Blake Christian with the 33, although he was working through a broken jaw or something. Alex Zane's gimmick's getting stale. Ben Carter did quite well for a young debutant. But the Mexicans and Alex Zane, the stars of the match right there. Gets the crowd buzzing, that's what you want. Next up we have a 58 went about that had good wrestling but little heat. Chris Dickinson, Daniel Makabe, one-on-one, 14 minutes, 23 seconds. In New Japan of America's newest recruit, the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson gets the win with the Liger Bomb. Big Dick Strings gets the win, a 52 from him, a 55 from Makabe. They have pretty good chemistry, lifted the match, but unfortunately Makabe just unsuccessful yet again here in the Globe Theatre. What more does he have to do before he can start finding victories inside PWG? Up next we have a 57 where we have big tag team action. It's in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Brody King and Chris Hero faced the team of Fred Yehai and Tony Deppen, who of course are teaming a little bit in PWG now in this save. And Fred Yehai and Tony Deppen are victorious. They get the upset victory. Of course, Brody King and Chris Hero are friends, but enemies. There's a lot of tension between those two big heavyweight fighters in PWG. And Tony Deppen catches Hero off guard. He rolls up the knockout artist, the wrestling genius. And all four men perform their 50s. Hero and King, their timing is all over the place. They don't work well as a team. And it should, because one team doesn't work well, the other has excellent chemistry. And the team with excellent chemistry are the ones that got the job done and got the 1, 2, 3 inside PWG. And then after the match, in your main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship, and about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, your World Heavyweight Championship was retained by Bandido for the third time. He pinned Dezmond Xavier of the Rascals with a Revolution Fly inside just under 20 minutes. Bandido with a 60 to Xavier's 55. Bandido was really off his game. I'm going to let you in a little secret here. I expected more of that. I'm incredibly disappointed in that. I expect a lot more than a 60. Bandido being really off his game didn't help. Excalibur as an agent didn't help either. We round off the show with a 58. Who am I going to give? Who even did well tonight? Alex Zane did well, I think. I didn't even pay attention to who did well despite reading out everyone's name. Fuck it, we'll give it to Fred and to Big Anthony Deppen. They can have the praise. All three of them seemed pleased. There is your New Japan star, Hideo Itami, or now Kenta, on the screen. I don't know why I call him Hideo Itami there. It's 2021. He's not been Hideo Itami for, what's it, like 2.5 years now, I think? Or was it 2019 he left? One of the two, anyways. That's regardlessly unimportant to the save. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen, next time I will see you here in this series, it will be All-Star Weekend, and I have a PWG fan favourite from the past set to return. It's a good one. It's a big one. Could this person be a potential future World Heavyweight Champion? They've never won gold inside PWG, so do be sure to comment who you think that'll be. EW's keeping around number 5 if anyone cares. Kyle Fletcher's your new Riptide Brighton champion. And if we look up here, you can see the report for Lost in the World was excellent. The show really went down well. If we go here, we can take Excalibur's road agent duties off of him because it's for the best at this point. That is, of course, who we are in this save. The user character is Excalibur. But that is the roster, by the way. If there's anyone you want to see us sign in the future, do be sure to let me know down below. We do have a bit of a stacked roster, and now that we're getting into the spring of 2021, maybe, just maybe, we'll open up the borders and we'll bring in some of the finest exports from around the world Maybe we'll get some of Europe's best stars in. Maybe Australia's finest will return to California. But thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a shorter episode today, but that's not necessarily a bad thing to ease us back into the save. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I do look forward to your suggestions and feedback down below.